Hey everybody, it's Carol with Refunction Crafts, and today I'm going to bring you a project whereas I'm going to make a night light out of one of these tiny bottles. And these are these bottles I actually bought probably a couple of years ago, and they come in this amber color. And I think I got them by the case back then, and there's probably like 10 or 12 in a case. I'm not sure, maybe less, maybe it's more like 6 or 8. Anyway, so I buy these in the case. They come with a black cap, but I don't have any of the black caps left. I had done some stuff with these bottles originally and decided that I wanted to change up what I was doing. So that's what we're doing today. The first step is, this one I've already painted, and it was like this. It had a napkin that was Mod Podged on the outside of it. And so I just painted over the top of that napkin. And as you can see, it's a little bit wrinkly, which is the effect that I want. That's what I'm trying to achieve with this. So what I'm going to do, I painted this one white, and this is the one we're going to be doing today. But the one that I'm going to paint now, I'm just to show you how I've painted it, is going to be in an ivory color. And the reason that I'm doing that, and I'm using actually a Delta ceramic coat, and this paint is so old, I can't even tell you how old it is at this point, but it's very old, but I'm going to still use it because it still works. So what I need to do is I need to get something that I can put the paint into, and I thought I had something close by and didn't. Let me grab a little plastic container out of my cabinet here. Or maybe just a lid to one of my other plastic containers. We'll do that. Okay. So we're just going to use this little lid to pour some paint into. And see, it's still good. There's our paint. It's still pretty good. These are some of the supplies that we're going to be using. I have some paper roses that I got from Kiki's sale. And I've got some bling that I also got from Debbie over at Kiki's sale. And possibly some, actually I think this one I got from someone else. I think I might have gotten this from my good friend over in, that I tell you about, that lives in another country, that sends me so many beautiful things. Got a couple of these little teeny tiny paper roses. Don't know if I'll use them or not. And then some trim. And I have this beautiful cameo that I'm going to be putting on the one that I'm doing today. It's a rose cameo, and it's a teeny tiny one. And then I'm also going to be using this piece of bling, which is one that I got from a little local store that I have near me. So we're going to be using some of these items, not all of them, but I'm going to just kind of push them aside. The other thing we're going to be using, because this is going to be a night light, is we're going to be using this this string of fairy lights. So that's going to be a must for this if you want it to turn out looking exactly like what I'm going to be doing today. So, and then you'll also need a bottle. You don't have to use these bottles, guys. You can use any bottle that you have, any glass bottle that you have around. You can make it any size. I like doing these tiny ones because they make really nice night lights, and they're not enormous. I do make bigger bottles, and maybe I'll show you one of the bigger ones that I've done before the video's over. I started out, when I went back into crafting, I started out making bottle night lights. That was my thing in the beginning. And I was really enjoying doing them. But what I found out was I was doing the bigger ones. Like, everybody was bringing me old wine bottles and things like that to use to make, you know, unique night lights. And what happened was, I found out when the first thing I sold in my Etsy shop was one of my bottle night lights. and I had it listed in my shop. Oh gosh, I want to say I had it listed for like $30, and I had shipping listed because I hadn't really checked shipping prices yet. Silly me, I didn't realize shipping costed as much as it did. So because I didn't check on that ahead of time, I think I had the shipping listed at like $8.50. Well, it turned out the price of the bottle was like $29, $30, something like that. Shipping was $29. So I made absolutely zero on the bottle. My first sale, I was so disappointed. In fact, I cried. I told my husband, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't do this. I don't know shipping prices and all of that. And I was so frustrated at the loss of money, but I was super happy that somebody had bought my item, you know, of course. But then all I could think of was, okay, if I'm making these bottles, people aren't going to want to pay $30 for the bottle and then $30 for shipping. And so that's what was so frustrating about the whole thing, was that, you know, shipping was going to cost the same amount as the item I was making. Now, my husband, of course, the person that he is, oh, you're undercharging for your items. You should be getting more money for them and all of that. And I'm not one. I do need to make a profit on the items that I sell in my Etsy store. Absolutely. I want to make a profit. That's why I do it. Also for the love of crafting. I love to craft, and if I could do this as my full-time job and make a living at it, I certainly would do that. I wish that I was like some of these YouTubers that have the, they get the, oh, what do you call it? Darn it, now I can't think of the word. The people that pay, you know, to keep your channel going, that sponsor your channel. It would be nice to do that. I don't have the number of subscribers to really do that and really be able to earn a living at it, but I you know, someday, maybe someday I'll be able to make a living at it, or when I retire I'll be able to, you know, supplement my income with my my YouTube channel and my Etsy shop. So you know, we'll see. But anyway, so going back to the bottle, so I shipped the bottle out. Of course, I was crying. I was upset. I was devastated that I didn't make any money at it, and I thought I was just going to be bad at this whole Etsy thing. And okay, so we've got that one covered. And again, I'm doing this one in ivory. I did this one in white. I want to do a different look for this one. I'm going for more of a vintage look on the ivory one, and I'm going for more of a shabby chic look on the white one. So that's why I'm doing this one in ivory. So you'll cover that up, let it dry, and then put a second coat of paint over this. And I will eventually paint all the way to the top of the lid, but I wanted to use that to hold the bottle while I was painting. Otherwise, it would have taken me a lot longer to paint this bottle. So you would do this first coat, let it dry, do a second coat, and then once that dries, you'll be ready to play with your bottle and make your night light. So I'm going to set that one aside for now. We don't need this paint anymore. I'm going to put my brush in the water and rinse it out. And let me get that wiped off because I've been ruining my brushes lately by leaving them sit in the water too long. So I don't want to do that. Okay, so my brush is clean. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start working on this bottle. And I'm using this beautiful, beautiful napkin that I got from Debbie over at Kiki's sale. She sent me one of these napkins, and it's so gorgeous. And luckily it had several of the floral prints, and on these little bottles I only need to use 2 per bottle. So I'm able to conserve this napkin because I've only got one. I'm going to be making a few of these night lights, and then I'm also going to be doing some tins, and I want to use some of that napkin on that as well. But I had already taken this napkin apart. They usually have 3 plies, and this is a different napkin, but I'm going to show you. You just want to go to the corner. Sometimes the best thing to do is to just kind of take this corner and rip it like that. And usually you can get the napkin to come apart a little easier that way at the end. And you'll take those other 2 plies. This is only a 2 ply. This one was a 3 ply napkin. So I had to take 2 layers off. And then you'll just gently pull it apart so that you don't tear the napkin underneath. And then just save this piece for something else. These pieces left over work great for a bottle like this if you want to just cover it in white initially and not really have to paint it. You can do that as well. But I always like to put a white background on first if I'm doing, especially if I'm doing something that's going to be in light colors. So keep that in mind, and especially when I'm doing a night light, which is what this is going to be. So the other thing that I have, my friend Melba sent me some of this trim. I don't have a lot of it. I have only a few little kitties left, but she sent me some of this gorgeous little kitty trim that I'm going to be putting around the bottom of this nightlight because I think it's going to be really pretty. But the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to start Mod Podging this rose onto, let's see, what did I do with my other lid? I know I had another lid that I took out. Yes, I did. I'm going to start Mod Podging this onto the bottle, and I'm going to do both pieces. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to squirt a little Mod Podge out. And this is the Mod Podge I get from the Dollar Tree. You get each bottle is $1. So, and if you don't do a lot of Mod Podging, it goes a long ways. So what I like to do is take and first go over the bottle with a little bit of the Mod Podge, just sort of prepping it to receive, to receive the rose napkin, and then I'm going to just kind of lay that on there. The first one's the easiest one. The second one, you have to make sure you put it in the right spot so that they are opposite sides of each other. So you're going to need to pay attention to that. And I'm just kind of taking and putting a little bit of Mod Podge underneath these edges where I didn't paint it on. And it goes on really, really easily and really nicely. And again, I've left this bottle to be somewhat wrinkly on purpose. And that's all part of sort of the shabby chic effect that I'm looking to get from this. So now I'm just kind of taking a little bit of Mod Podge and going over the outside of this. And so we've got the first one on. And now I'm going to go exactly the opposite of that one, and I'm going to put the other one on the other side. So let me go ahead and just trim a little bit more off the edge of that, and I'm going to paint my Mod Podge on here. Trying to make sure that I keep you guys in frame. That's the hard part about doing this and not being able to talk to people, because you want to stay in frame, but you don't always realize when you get out. So, and now we're just going to go ahead and we're going to paint the edges of this and get this Mod Podged onto the other side. And look at how easy this is, you guys. Mod Podging, I think some people think it's going to be harder than it really is. And especially when you're working with something this tiny, it really isn't so bad. And it's so therapeutic and fun. I love, love, love Mod Podge. I have a lady that belongs to one of the groups that I belong to. she does a lot of Mod Podging, and she is so, so good at it. And her name is Edith, and she's sort of my go-to Mod Podge queen, I should say. She's like the queen of Mod Podge. I'm just gonna say it. She's the best that I have seen, and I love her work. And I wish she had a YouTube channel because I would probably watch it on a regular basis. But since she doesn't, and I get to see her projects in Happy Bird's Glitter Nest, which is a group that I belong to on Facebook. If you think of it, I will put the link to Happy Bird's Glitter Nest Facebook page on my drop-down menu. Go over there, check it out. There's thousands of crafters that belong to that group that display their art and their pieces, and oh my goodness, so many fabulous, fabulous artists that you just won't even believe it. There's so much to see and so much to look at, and they're just amazing. So the beauty of this Mod Podge is that it does dry fairly quickly. It's not completely dry right now, but I will be able to go ahead and start working on this to get some of my pieces on. I'm going to wait on this because it's wetter down here, and I'm going to start going up here to start putting pieces on. One of the things that I want to do too is I want to, let's see, let me start first with my flowers. I'm going to start putting a few of these roses that really, really match nicely with the napkin that I've used for the Mod Podge. And these roses I also got from Kiki's sale. And I know right now Debbie over at Kiki's sale has been sort of limiting the number of people that she's letting in right now, only because supplies are very limited right now. She's unable to really get everything that she wants, so she kind of feels like, to be fair to her current subscribers, she has to sort of keep the membership down. And I think I'm going to use this trim around the top of the neck of the bottle. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue there. And in the center here, I'm going to glue that flower. I only have one flower on this piece of trim because it worked out perfectly that I was able to cut it at the flower and it wraps perfectly around this bottle. So I was really excited when I figured that out. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift that little green leaf part, and I think I'll put a little bit of hot glue around the back here and just sort of press that in. And then I'm going to put a little bit here. Pull back the green ribbon because I want that to come over the top of this. And there we go. Super duper pretty. And there we are so far. Okay, and then next, I'm debating, I don't want to use too much of these flowers because they are a decent size. So I think I may only use one of these beautiful roses that I got from Kiki's sale. Here towards the top, I'm just kind of trying to fluff it and see how I want it to go. Oh, but the other thing that I want to do really before I go too far is I do want to add this piece of bling. I'm going to have it sort of hanging from the bottle. But you know what, I can go ahead and add this rose on first because I can see that it's going to be okay. It's going to be on the other side, the opposite side. So I'm going to glue that rose on. The only thing with these roses is they are a little thick. But I think that's okay as long as I only use one of them on the bottle. So that's why I was gonna use two, but I'm realizing now that they're awfully big and two may be just too much. And I'm trying to kind of open it up a little bit so that the petals sort of lay a little more flat. Like that. And actually, I think what I'm going to do, you guys may think I'm crazy, I'm going to take this bud in the middle and I'm going to snip that like that, probably a little more than that. I'm flattening out these petals, and this is something that I do as I go, you guys. I come up with new ideas and I have to go with them. Okay, so I've cut that out, and then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take maybe a tiny piece of bling that I have maybe in here. I know I've got some little pieces in here. Let's see. Maybe even one of these little balls. No, not that. It's a little too round. Here's a little tiny ball. I think we're going to go with this one. I'm going to put this little tiny ball in the center here using just a little dot of hot glue. I'm going to put it in the center. Hold it down, and then I think what I'm going to do is I may just kind of let a couple of these petals just kind of go up a little bit against that ball, and then I can pull them down so that they're not sitting totally up like they were before, but that they kind of surround that ball. And then we're just going to curl the leaves or the petals down just a little bit. And that looks really, really pretty. Except what I did was I made a mistake and I let the hole from the ball sit going to the top. So I'm taking the glue off. I'm going to glue it back down real quick here and do it the right way this time. And there we go. Okay, there we go. We've got our little ball in the center. Okay, so now I'm going to close up my little heart here. And then I've got the other thing that I have here is I have cut these pieces off of, I'm famous for doing this. I had an old shower curtain, and I've also received some pieces from Debbie Cottrell over at Kiki's because she's got a different one. But this was an old shower curtain that I have cut up, and I cut these little embroidered flowers off of it. And I use them in my projects. So that's where these little flowers have come from. And what I do generally is I'll cut them up and place them in various ways on my projects just to kind of stick out and kind of give a little more je ne sais quoi to my pieces. So I'm going to cut this one into like more of a V shape, and I'm going to put it up here in this corner behind this rose. And you guys you're not going to believe how pretty this piece comes out when it's done. Again, like I said before, I love making these. To me, it's like the perfect gift for anyone that you have a hard time buying for, number one. And anyone who likes maybe a shabby chic, or you can even turn it into not shabby chic. You could make any theme. you could go any way you want with these, with any type of theme. You know, if you want to give it to them as a bathroom, maybe a housewarming gift, they could put it in their bathroom, make it with ships and lighthouses, or sea life, turtles, you know, fish, things like that. There's so many different ways you could go with it. And what an amazing gift, you know. I think anybody would love these. And when you see it, when I show you the piece when it's finished and lit up, you're just not going to believe it. You're going to be looking for bottles to make night lights out of. I just know it. So I'm going to take 2 of these little roses, these little tiny roses here, and I'm just going to have them sort of popping out in a couple of spots. I don't need these stems to be real long because I want to get those underneath there. So, okay, so we're going to take right here, put a little bit of glue on that, and I'm just going to pop it underneath this rose right there. And then I'm going to pop one over here on this side, sort of coming down and out of the bottom of the rose, the big rose. So we'll just kind of slide it in there with a little bit of hot glue on it. Oh, this is so gorgeous. So, so, so pretty. So that's what we have so far. I'm also going to add this little butterfly somewhere. I think I'm going to put the butterfly over to this edge over here. I'm going to take off the little foam sticker on it because I don't want this to come off easily. This is just a little paper butterfly. But as long as this is being used as a night light, it should stay on there no problem. And it's just got that little glittery effect. And it just looks really pretty off to the side there. And then what I'm going to do is I've got these earrings, and I'm not sure if I can use these or not. And the reason that I say that is they may be too big. And I also have another piece of bling that I want to add to this, so I don't want to go too far. But then again, I definitely want to make it, I want to make it look really nice and really finished. I'm going to use this. Okay, I found a spot where I can make it fit. Wait a minute. First, yeah, that's going to go off to the side. So that will go. What I need to do is I do need to use a little bit of E6000 on this piece because it's a little bit bigger and it's got all that metal on it, and I want to make sure that it sticks. So I'm just going to put a little bit of E6000 on one side and a little bit of hot glue on the other side. And we're going to tuck it up under the rose right there. And I'm going to hold that down because I want that hot glue to set so that I can continue to work on this and not have that piece fall off. So, okay, that should be good. And then I'm also going to take, I think I'm going to put this piece on last, just because it's going to go right there and I know it's going to be fine. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting these little pretty kitties around the outside at the bottom. Yes. So I'm going to go with the first one, and I'm just going to kind of turn it over. I'm going to put the glue right on the center there where the kitty is, and I'm putting the middle cat in the center of this rose Mod Podge piece. And then I'm just going to go around and I'm going to put hot glue on the second kitty. Make sure it's placed correctly. And then the third one's going to come around, and you can see where that's just going to meet just perfectly right there. So we're going to put our hot glue on this kitty. And I need to get that out of my hand so I can see where I'm placing this. So that one's down, and then I'm going to put just a little dot right here where these two pieces are going to meet. I'm going to press that one down, and I'm going to press that one down. And then if you have any areas where you think you want to, put it down, you can. I'm going to leave it just as it is because I think it's fine. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to put this hanging piece over to the side here. And I'm going to put a little bit of E6000. And close your lid on your E6000, guys. And I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue at the bottom. Try to keep the hot glue and the E6000 separated so that the hot glue can get a secure hold onto the bottle, because if it's touching the E6000, I say this over and over again, but if it's touching the E6000, it will likely not stick because now it's wet and cold and it's going to come right off. And this way we only need the hot glue to stick momentarily, really, until the E6000, or momentarily, while we're working on it, and to give it time for the E6000 to stick, and then we're good to go. Okay. So pretty. I want to see, you guys, I have these little pearls here too, and I'm going to see if maybe I want to put just a little tiny string of these kind of coming out here and maybe going around there. I think I'm going to cut that like right about there. I just want a little bit of pearls because, that whole shabby chic thing, pearls are a thing with shabby chic. And if I don't have pearls, I don't feel like I'm quite finishing the shabby chic look. Although I have done some pieces where I didn't add the pearls, but then I'm always kind of disappointed in the end if I don't. So, and then I end up adding them later sometimes and changing the whole piece. Not really the whole piece, but part of it. Okay, and then I think I'm going to put, just to kind of get this hanging downward, I'm going to put a little dot of hot glue there and lay that down. And that's what we have so far. Like that. So pretty. Oh my gosh. There's that. That's how that looks hanging there. And there's our pearls. Just a little bit of pearls. I don't want a lot. Just a little bit to kind of be on there so that you can see that they're... Okay, everybody, so there was a bit of this video that you guys missed because my camera decided to have a mind of its own. And while it was recording, once I went to try and get the recording to pull up to upload, the computer indicated that it was corrupted, and it wasn't not corrupted. I take that back. It just didn't record. It recorded bad, and the film didn't come out. So at least I had it to this point, and I hadn't done much after it. So we've got this. The one thing that you missed was me gluing this piece on the battery pack onto the back of the bottle. I had already also sort of started placing this on top, but we can redo that. And I did a couple of other things, which I will show you how I did those as well. So no big deal. Okay, so, and then I also added this trim around the top of the bottle. So what I did was I took this battery pack, and on the other side of it, making sure that the screws are on the outside, I put some E6000 and a strip of hot glue, and I put it on the back and held it down till it adhered to the bottle. And then the next thing you want to do, and I'm sorry this is a big old rat's nest now because I did have this inside the bottle and had to pull it back out so I could show you guys what I did. So we're going to take this wire, these fairy lights, and I'm going to turn them on so you can see what I'm doing. And we're going to put those in the bottle, and we're going to put some in sort of one at a time, and others we're going to try and put in like in little groupings so that there's a group of lights in an area to, you know, give off a good amount of light in one section. So like here I've got like 3 lights in one section. I'm just going to pop those in there and start pushing those down into the bottle. Any willy-nilly fashion you want to put them in, it doesn't matter. As long as they get in the bottle. I want to make sure I have some at the bottom, some at the top. I'm going to use this hot glue stick to make sure some of these get all the way down to the bottom. And then we'll just continue to feed those into the bottle. I'm just glad I didn't lose so much of the video. Now you're probably going to lose some of what I was saying during the video. I don't know, I don't remember how it cut me off as far as my talking was concerned, but that's okay because I was able to go back to almost the point where the camera quit recording, so it's all right. I'm okay with that, and hopefully you guys are too. Hopefully you got enough out of what did take that you should be able to do it. But I didn't want to lose the entire video and not put it up because it's a good video, it's a good project, and I know you guys are going to like this one. So I didn't want to lose the entire project because, you know, the final section of it got, I don't know what it got, but it got something. It got dead. So, okay, here we go. And then what I did was I did put a dot of hot glue on the back side of the wire for the battery pack and just kind of touched it down to the bottle so that it's not kind of all willy-nilly on the back there. So, we've got that in there, and then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little ball, and I don't remember if I showed this part or not in the other video as far as where I got this ball, but if I, just in case I didn't, I'll show you again. This was a little copper ball that I got in a Happy Mail project package from one of my good friends, and I spray painted it silver to go better with this bottle because I didn't think that the copper was a good fit. So anyway, so I spray painted it silver, and what we're going to do is we are going to put a little bit of E6000 around this bottle lid, trying not to get it on top of those pearls. And then we're also going to put a little bit of hot glue. I'm going to get this in my hand. I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue at a couple of areas as well so that this will stick down, and I'm going to just press this little ball on top, and I'm going to hold it very firmly so that that hot glue has a chance to cool and cure and hold this lid down. Otherwise this lid's going to pop right off of here. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of triple thick and some of my Craft Diamond Dust on the front side of this bottle. And then I'm going to show you, I'm going to light her up. In fact, I need to turn off my lights now because you can't even see them. I'm going to light her up, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like, what the final project looks like. Okay, and I think I can let that go now safely. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take, I'm going to do this, let's see, I'm going to put a little bit of triple thick in the edge of this container lid. I'm going to get myself a brush, and what we're going to do is we're going to paint this triple thick all over. And guys, just so you know, I've already done this area right here, but we're going to take that and we're going to just paint it all around. I painted some onto, I think I need a little bit more on this little lace piece around the kitty here. And so I've painted it all around there. And then we're going to paint over this rose with some triple thick. And I painted this too, but I didn't put the, oh shoot, I went into that paint. Sorry guys, I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so I want to make sure that I do get the diamond dust onto this rose as well. So I'm going to make sure that I kind of go over it again a little bit, and maybe a little bit right there around the edge. Okay, so then I'm going to put my brush in water. I'm going to open up my diamond dust, and I'm going to take this napkin here. I'm going to toss that container lid, and I'm going to take my diamond dust and I'm just going to take a little spoonful here, and I'm just going to start sprinkling that on the areas that I painted with the triple thick, making sure that I get some of this diamond dust on all of my little rose petals. And in the areas that I may have missed down here. I think I've got it all covered there. A little bit there. And I think I'm going to just take a dot of this triple thick. I'm going to put it like right there because I didn't get any there. I'm just going to kind of rub it around with my finger, and I'm going to put a little dot of this diamond dust on this side as well. You guys know me with my diamond dust. I do love it, love it, love it, and I think it really adds life to any project that you want to add sparkle to, and it sparkles better than any glitter that you can put on a project. The only thing is this is a clear, it's a clear glitter. So, oopsie, I forgot to put my spoon in my diamond dust container. Okay. So, there is our bottle. All done, and I'm going to let you see the sparkle on that. Isn't it gorgeous? And then I think what I'm going to do, I'm sure you cannot see the light in this, so I'm going to go turn off my light real quick. I'll be right back, and I want you to see the night light effect of this bottle. And hopefully it will get dark enough that you can see it. It's daylight right now, so it may not work out so very well, but I'm going to give it a shot. Okay, so there it is. Isn't that gorgeous, you guys? You can see the yellow glow through that, and you get the yellow glow from the amber bottle. And I'm telling you, when it's nighttime and you look at this at night, when it's darker, the look that you're going to get is so much nicer. And what I'll try and do is I will take some pictures of this also and add those pictures down at the bottom so that you can see exactly what it looks like when it is lit up in a darker space. So that's what it looks like, you guys. Absolutely gorgeous. I love doing this project, and I think you will too. This beautiful nightlight is going to go in my Etsy shop, and I'll also be making another one that's more of a I call this more of a shabby chic. The other one will be more of a Victorian vintage look. So anyway, if I get the other one done, I'll also show pictures of that one at the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I appreciate your watching my videos, and if you're a subscriber, thank you. If you're not a subscriber already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification button down at the bottom, and that way you'll get notified when I put out new videos. And share and like the video. If you can share it with your friends, if you think they might enjoy this, that would be great. That gets me a better subscriber base. When we hit 4,000 subscribers, I will be doing another giveaway. And I love doing my giveaways. I usually do a pretty nice item when I do, well, I always do a nice item when I do a giveaway. So be on the lookout for that. We've still got, I think, about 200 or 300 more subscribers to get before we are at the giveaway point. So keep that in mind, but share the video and hopefully we'll get those subscribers soon, and I'll be doing a new giveaway. Thanks so much, you guys. Have a blessed day. Take care of yourselves. Be safe in this crazy time, and please make your comments down below if you have any kinds of projects that you think you'd like to see me do. I would be grateful to hear your input, and I like to try new things. So give me those ideas and keep them coming, and I'll be coming up with some new stuff very soon. Oh, just so that you guys can see, one of the things that I am working on right now, it's not going to tell you much. This is felt. And I am going to be making something with this. I've taken a couple of pieces of felt, just a regular piece of felt like this, and this, the bottom of it is a stiff felt, and I'm going to be making something really cool out of this. So I will be doing that video next, and I'll be seeing y'all soon. Be blessed. Bye.